edition rock and roll.
How's everybody doing today? It's the Chase Carter Concept Podcast for Thursday, February 25th. I almost forgot what, for some reason, thinking it's the 23rd, but it's the 25th. It's not. I'm a moron, like usual. So what's been going on with me this week? Nothing much. Finished Control. Playing video games as normal. Watching basketball a little bit. Not as much as I would like to because I don't have cable. I don't watch it live. Usually I try to go out once or twice a week before everything happened. And I would try to sit down, watch 3 or 4 games. Buffalo Wild Wings while getting unlimited carrot sticks and Arnold Palmer's, and just sit there for 3 or 4 hours and watch basketball. But, oh, that was the life. Well, why can't we just go back to that? My selfishness, I just want to watch basketball at Buffalo Wild Wings. Could we end this whole pandemic thing so I can watch sports twice a week? But yeah, screw all the people who can't see their families. I need to go to Buffalo Wild Wings. It's not really because it's a watching basketball was like a collective, a social gathering event. I wouldn't. Watching it by myself I've done it for years, of course, and watching it and then knowing that there's nobody at the game, it's kind of like I'm creepily spying on these people who are just playing basketball. But it's interesting to see as fans starting to slowly get led back in to see the players' reaction. And I think overall it'll be a good thing for sports because I think fans will appreciate being at the game more, and then in turn the players will appreciate the fans and realize that that's really who they play for. Because if nobody gave a crap what they would do, most of those guys wouldn't be there. They wouldn't obviously dedicate their lives because it wouldn't be a high-paying career. But it's just cool to see the NBA players have 1 or 2 real emotional reactions to fans getting excited. Because when you score, you want people to cheer or boo. That's what you want. Anyone who says different you want some kind of reaction out of them. If everyone sat there and was just dead quiet the whole time, no one would like that. It was, what was that? It's like professional wrestling in, I think it's Japan. They don't cheer. They're quiet, and then when a good thing happens that excites them, they applaud. They just start clapping. They don't vocally make noise. They just, if something shocks them, they'll go, ah, and then they'll give a stand, like a golf clap. But it's cultural. That's what it is. It's cultural, but it's just a different way to seeing it. At first, it was strange and weird, but you can't say strange or weird because those are negative. That's negative. But it's just different. It's interesting to see how a group of people watch the same exact thing and react completely different to it. But you want that. Speaking of pro wrestling, just like basketball, you want a reaction. You want either a positive or negative reaction. You don't want someone just sitting there. But it was cool. I saw Kyrie. They had 300 people in a 20,000 seat arena come in. I wonder if now, if the pandemic, if there's always going to be this next pandemic and people are scared to be within, a certain range, are they going to keep these big stadiums, or are they going to do smaller stadiums that are just, your seats are individualized and spread out? Because they have to have some kind of people there. Otherwise, it feels ridiculous. It does. To have these huge arenas, the billionaire owner spent all this money, or had the taxpayers of that city spend all that money for no reason now. Like, there's a bunch of empty arenas all across this country. But there's 32, and these are just the professional, 32 football arenas, 30 basketball arenas. I wouldn't say 30 because the Lakers share Staples. I don't think any other team, that's the only team that shares. It's stadium. And I know football teams are sharing right now, so maybe 30 stadiums across the country. And there's soccer stadium. There's a whole bunch of places that are just empty deserts. So it's I don't know. It's gonna be cool. One, if it comes back. I'm not gonna say when. I'm not gonna be optimistic when it comes back, because apparently, even if you get the vaccine, you can still catch it and still transmit it. It just won't be as severe. But then people aren't going to take. So if it's not as transmissible and it's less deadly, then I think people will go back to. I mean, it was already at a 99.7 death rate, and they shut the whole country down. I'd hate to see if it kills like 20% of the people it infects. I mean, everything's going to be shit. It's going to be the Wild West out there. I mean, I couldn't get eggs. I mean, the most I was impacted by this whole thing is, now granted, I wasn't very sociable to begin with. Like once or twice a week I'd go out. Maybe at most twice, I would say. Mostly it was once a week. And that's good. I'm fine. I don't like dealing with people on a consistent basis. It's exhausting. Beyond exhausting. So just stay in, keep to myself. I don't want to deal with other people. I don't want to drive somewhere just to drive somewhere. One more car on the road for no reason. If I'm going out, it's for a once a week pleasure trip. And it's not even a trip. It's to in and out. And me and my girlfriend sit around, hang out, relax, and then we come home. And it's nice. It's wonderful. It's so nice not having to drive 20, 30, 45 minutes in traffic for no reason. And that's what I think is going to be the biggest change in scenarios. Like if you have good internet at home and all you do is work on the computer all day at work, what are you doing at work? Why do I have to? I mean, people aren't going to need cars as much anymore. They're not going to need gas prices should drop. They should drop. Of course, they're not for whatever reason it is. People are blaming the president, and I don't even know if the president has anything to do with taxes. All I know is when Trump got in office, gas prices went down a little bit. Because I'm sure he got rid of a lot of regulations. Is that a good or bad thing? I'm not sure. I'm not smart enough to know. But if there's less people going to work, then gas prices should drop because the demand is lower. That's what should happen. So when the pandemic first hit, the gas prices for oil drums were less than zero. It was negative. You had to pay someone to take oil at one point, which is insane. But I wonder how long a drum of oil, how long it keeps. Because things are going to go back to somewhat normal. So wouldn't those people just keep buying all? If I was real rich, I would have just bought. If oil drums kept for years, I don't know what the shelf life is on oil. You just hoard. You just keep. Oh, what? It's $1 per drum. Give me the drums. I will hold on to them. I'm sure it's not as simple as that. But that's my uneducated opinion. There was, speaking of Kyrie, there was something he said he wanted, and people are internet freaking out about it. And he's just showing his love for Kobe Bryant. Brooklyn Nets point guard wants the Los Angeles Lakers legend Kobe Bryant in the NBA logo, making his case via Instagram on Wednesday. He said, "Black Kings built the league." He says, "It's got to happen. I don't care what anybody says." And now, he's paying tribute to someone he looked up to who tragically passed away. But I don't think it's necessary to bring up Black Kings, the race of Kobe Bryant. Like put it on his merit. To me, that comes off. You didn't list anything that he was great at. You just said Black Kings built the league, so we have to have a black person up there. Which is, huh? What is race at? It's just this basketball is supposed to be something that it's colorless. Are you great? Are you good enough to be on the court? Yes or no? That's all it should come down to. Race shouldn't, it shouldn't matter. And if we're talking about the best player, the best black player, and it's Michael Jordan, young one, young blood. It's Michael Jordan. It's not Kobe Bryant. You want to put the best black player? You can put Bill Russell. Bill Russell did more than Kobe, was more successful, better than Kobe. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, better. He's not even the best black player. He just tragically died. And that's understandable that you have these feelings and emotions, but you have to try to separate your brain and your emotions, like your critical thinking and your emotions. But if this is how he kind of keeps Kobe's memory alive, to him, people deal with grief and are emotional in different ways. So I don't blame him for. But for me, I'm like more of a traditionalist. I'm a traditionalist. But if something's been one way for a long period of time, I think we should keep that. And it wasn't like Jerry West is the logo now, currently, and back in 1969, it says here Alan Seelge, who used a Ren Roberts photo of former Lakers great Jerry West as inspiration for his design. So it wasn't him. He just used a picture and he liked the shape, I guess, or the silhouette of the move. It was like a little crossover move that Jerry West was doing. So people called him the logo, even though it's not really, it's inspired by him. So people just took that inspiration. So it's an interesting concept. And then you're saying Black Kings built the league. And it's, the best basketball players built the league. Best ones. You can go back to saying who saved the NBA back when it was all drug-ridden and nobody liked it. It was Larry Bird and Magic Johnson that saved the league. And David Stern saved the league when these guys were making less than WNBA players were making. Which is what I love when I hear women in the WNBA bitch about how much money they're making. I was like, you guys started off, do you guys have to have a second job bagging groceries? No? Then shut up, because that's what the men in the NBA did. They slowly built it. Became slowly more and more popular. So sheesh. Anyways. No, that always bothers me. Like if your company or your sport brings in a ton of money, you're going to make a ton of money. Say if the UConn's women's college team, if they paid college players, they wouldn't be paying the men's UConn college team. They'd be paying the women's, because those are the people that bring in the money because they're so great. Doesn't make any sense. But yeah, so it's not even technically Jerry West isn't the outline. He was just inspiration for it. So if you're the inspiration for the logo, does that mean, are you the logo? It's like, no. But Jerry West doesn't even want it because he's a all shucks, kind of passing the glory off to whoever. He's wanted to not be the logo or called the logo. He doesn't like all the attention. At least that's what he comes off as publicly. It seems he's more of a Greg Popovich kind of guy. When the Spurs win a championship, he's in the back of the crowd, not taking any credit for it. It's just his type of personality, it seems, or at least the personality he wants to convey. Because I bet privately he's like, yeah, I'm a bad boy. I'm one of the greatest coaches of all time. I mean, if you're that good at something, I think you have to have some kind of pride. But he wants to put the players, because obviously you can't win without the players. It's a players' league. But it's just an interesting kind of debate. Who would you put? Like, I would keep the logo as it is. The NBA has worked so hard getting that logo recognized, and that's what it is. I want to see if there's any NBA logo history. I do want to see what the NBA logos, images of NBA logo history. Complicated NBA logos, complicated history explained. Most different images. I'm here on MSN Sports. Laker. Okay, so this is bringing that. Do they have any pictures of what the NBA logo used to be? It just had the letters, probably. All it wanted, push to make Kobe Bryant. No, he's not. It will never ever happen. Warning, trigger warning, discussion of sexual assault ahead. Yeah, then you got to bring up that too. Yeah. which is interesting. And I want to talk about Chris D'Elia, that whole weird thing. He came out with but his wasn't sexual assault. It was having sex with minors. But there was no charges brought up against him, so I don't understand. NBA logos. Here we go. Ew. Ugh. Okay, do yourself a favor and Google NBA logo history and go to images. The second one over is disgusting. It looks like a baseball. It doesn't, in 1950, it looks like a disgusting baseball. It's white. It looks like the baseball lines, one or two like arching lines on it. And then it just says National Basketball Association in red. So it's red and white. Then and these are all terribly pixelated logos because they screen grabbed them probably from old video. Then it's a normal basketball kind of tilted. And it says NBA. That looks somewhat normal. Then there's a white basketball with black lines on it. It says NBA diagonally. And then they finally, in 1962, that's what the NBA logo was. And then 1969, they made it official with the inspiration of Jerry West dribbling with his left hand, apparently. And I do always like how the leagues have the red, white, and blue. It looks kind of uniform. The NFL has that, the same thing. Baseball has it. It's kind of a cool color scheme. Saying, hey, America, thank you for being so awesome to let a bunch of men dribbling a basketball make millions of dollars. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. But the logo it's an interesting discussion because Jerry West doesn't want to be the logo. He has been quoted saying he wants it to change. But then as a business, you work so hard to get your business recognized and your logo recognized, and then changing it would only hinder. Like it's if Michael Jordan's Jumpman logo, you would change it to something else, and you're like, whoa, why are you changing it? Why exactly are you changing this? It's like, well, we're a new thing. Like, well, no, we worked decades to get this logo recognized. You see this logo, you know what it means. Just how hard it is to get your logo as a business recognized worldwide is impossible enough. And now you want to change it because a player tragically passed away. There was no make Kobe Bryant the logo before he passed away. So what? So if a great player dies tragically, we're going to change the logo? That doesn't make any sense. But it is an interesting discussion to have, a fun thought experiment. But Kyrie is not we shouldn't put too much weight into his ideas. This is a man who thinks he dribbles a round basketball on a flat earth. It's like, no, we just have to question everything. It's like, no, you don't. No. Being skeptical is fine, but saying we live on a flat earth is ridiculous. That it's the same kind of ridiculous to people in Texas who say it's fake snow. The government dropped snow on Texas. It's like, what? Huh? You guys stop it. Stop. But those are fun conspiracies, though. It is fun to just make up stuff. I will say that. All right. So there's Fry's Electronics went out of business. I was very upset about this. But it makes sense because they didn't, once online shopping started becoming popular, they didn't shift their business. I read this whole article on CNN.com. They didn't shift their business over to online. It was just a normal brick and mortar store. And I didn't know Fry's Electronics was just mostly in California. It says Fry's Electronics suddenly closed all of its doors overnight, ending a nearly 4-decade run in business. The company, which had 31 stores across 9 U.S. states, said in a statement on its website that it made difficult decision to shut down its operation and close its business permanently, end quote, because of changing consumer shopping habits and the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. It was based in San Jose, California. The privately held company, I didn't know it was privately held, was a family business. It was founded in 1985 by 3 Fry's brothers. The goal with the goal of being a Silicon Valley retail electronics store to provide a one-stop shopping environment for the high-tech professional. And that store was huge. It was awesome. But can you imagine the overhead on those places? Jeez. It hoped the undertaking would wind down through this orderly process with reduced costs, avoid additional liabilities, minimize the impact of our customers, vendors, landlords, and associates, and maximize the value of the company's assets for its creditors and the stakeholders, Fries explained on its website. Many of its retail locations had wacky themes. For example, the Burbank location was inspired by 1950s sci-fi movies and had a UFO decoration crashing into the exterior of the store. See, I think more places should take up that kind of philosophy, that kind of business, make each store kind of unique. I think it's a good idea. I think it's a good business decision. Granted, not shifting your business to more online. You got to have a percentage. You got to have walk-in customers. Some people like to go into the store and buy it. I mean, as you can tell with Redbox, people like to have the physical. You don't even have to have all the extra stuff. Okay, Surprise Electronics has a story. Let's see. Video game news. Bethesda. This is interesting. People are getting sued because of DLC. This is the kind of stuff that needs to be out of court, but it's a business, so I understand. This is by PCGamer.com. Bethesda sued because Fallout 4, as a game that came out years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, all-inclusive season pass did not include everything. The pass was sold with the promise it would grant access to all future content, but it didn't. It's very interesting. Come on, I don't want to be a part of your mailing list. Bethesda and parent company ZeniMax Media are facing a class action lawsuit concerning the DLC for Fallout 4, which is currently in the discovery phase. The action was launched in 2019, revolves around Fallout 4 Season Pass, which was sold before the game's release. Before the game was released, that's the important part. It released the Season Pass, so you'd have to pay for the game, which was $60, and then the Season Pass, which was $30. So you had to pay basically $100 to get everything total for the future. And then it was released with the following promises, in quotes, to reward our most loyal fans. This time we'll be offering a season pass that will get you all of Fallout 4's DLC we ever do for just $30. Ellipsis. Based on what we did for Oblivion, Fallout 3, Skyrim, we know that it will be worth at least $40, and if we do more, you'll get it all with the season pass, end quote. That seems pretty unambiguous. I always have a hard time saying that word. Unambiguous. And Fallout 4 was released with the season pass in 2015. Yeah, sorry, 7 years ago, excuse me. To great commercial success in 2016, Bethesda increased the price of the season pass to DLC by $50 because they probably scheduled more content. We're like, hey, we're going to come out with all, we need it to be a little bit more expensive. So they upped it by $20. And then in 2017, it announced the launch of Bethesda's Creation Club, a collection of all new content from both Fallout 4 and Skyrim. It features new items, abilities, and gameplay created by Bethesda's game studios and outside development partners, including the best community creators. So basically, it's a mod, the extra stuff. But the content in the Creation Club content was not included in the Fallout 4 Season Pass. So that's what the issue is. They're like, wait, all the DLC downloadable content will be included in the Season Pass, and then they created something else that's not technically DLC. It's a mod. It's called the Creation Club, and then people want all of that stuff for free. And Bethesda's going, nope, we said DLC. It's like, no, you said future DLC. I have to download it. All the extra stuff is DLC. It's considered DLC. Why won't my mouse work? There you go. So that's an interesting kind of argument. Sounds like Bethesda just wants, like, look, man, the game came out in 2015. All the DLC's done. Can we make a little bit extra money here, please? But apparently not. Another video game news, Chicago Lawmaker proposes bill to ban sale of violent video games like Grand Theft Auto 5. The ban will forbid the sale of violent video games outright. Carjackings are on the rise in Chicago. See, it's always Chicago's fault. Always Chicago's fault. People stealing cars. You know what? Instead of enforcing the law and putting more cops on the streets, that's a bad idea. Let's give more. Let's get cops better training. better equipment, protect themselves, and let's get them on. Let's stop people from getting carjacked. Let's stop people. No, no, no. What we need to do is, you know that video game that you can steal cars? You can go up to the car and press Y or triangle to get in the car. We need to stop that because that is what's contributing to the carjackings. So it's the dumbest argument that entertainment and video games entertainment, say movies, music, video games are the fault. And these lawmakers, it's really interesting as you get older, you see stuff try to get passed and it doesn't, and then you wait a decade and some new person comes up with the same exact dumb idea as a person before them that didn't work. If you ban violent video games in the city, then you have to ban. Is Gone in 60 Seconds going to be out of Redbox? Can I not buy that game because it has to deal with that? What are we doing here? It's weird. And as reported by the Chicago Sun-Times, Democratic, of course it's a Democrat, Rep. Marcus Evans Jr. has introduced a bill that will amend the city's 2012 law that prevents the sale of violent video games to minors, which is good. That's completely okay. Underage people, before they're an adult, their parents should have the say of what they see or do. Completely understandable. To be expanded into a full ban. So the ban on selling video games to minors will be a full ban. We'll take the ban applies to people it'll apply to only to people, HB 3531, that's what the bill is called. We'll take a ban that applies only to people under the age of 18 and expand it wholesale. According to the summary, it amends the violent video game law and the criminal code of 2012, changes provisions, restrictions as part of the growing concern over the increased rate of carjacking in the city. It's not that the people in Chicago are out of work and they need to steal cars. It's not that. You know what it is? It's because they play the video games. That's what it is. That's what it is. And then in a statement to IGN, the Electronic Software Association, ESA, disagreed with the proposed bill. While our industry understands and shares the concerns about what is happening in Chicago, and all over the country or world, it's not just Chicago, there simply is no evidence of a link between interactive entertainment and real-world violence. Because we all know Germany and the Nazis, we know what video games they were playing that got them all riled up. We believe, and Genghis Khan, can you imagine the video games he was playing? I couldn't imagine how violent they would be. Couldn't match Stalin? Oh my goodness. He was carjacking people left and right. You know those video Civilization where you take over countries? He was playing that game all the 24/7. That's what motivated him. We believe the solution to this complex problem resides in examining thoroughly the actual factors that drive such behaviors rather than erroneously ascribing, ascribing blame to video games solely based upon speculation. Okay, cool. That makes sense, but don't you make sense? Don't you dare make sense. Makes sense, we're going to kick you off. Okay, we're going to kick you off online. We're going to ban you. Let's see here. Xbox games with gold for March 2021. And the only reason I'm bringing this up is because people, Xbox fans, are silent. There's always an online petition for everything. It usually doesn't do anything. But then some fire this Disney Plus actress actually gains steam and people listen for some stupid reason. Games with gold for March of 2021 will include the following titles: Warface Breakout, which Warface is a free game anyway. So they're giving a free game away for free. So, and Vicious Attack Llama Apocalypse. Hold on a second. I've never heard of this game. Have to Google this game immediately. Or actually, I want to Bing this immediately. I'm tired of Google. I'm using Bing for a little while. Maybe DuckDuckGo. Who knows? What is news about? Let me look at this. It looks, it's like a top-down, okay, where you fight, you shoot stuff, kind of like a 2D. Okay, you're a mech, and you shoot all these. Vicious Attack. Llama project. So first I thought it was llamas, but LLAMA, but that's not correct. Okay, so it's a little fun shooter. Got it. As well as a 2008 Xbox Live Arcade. Remember that? I do. The good old days. Release of Metal Slug 3 and a 360 title port. Port Royale. It's a pirate game. See, like Warface Breakout was released in 2020. It's a tactical first-person shooter and spin-off of the free-to-play game Warface, which recently made its way to Nintendo Switch with cross-play coming in the future. Metal Slug 3 is a classic run-and-gun shooter, first released in arcades in 2000. It was ported to the original Xbox with additional game modes, but that's not the version available. The port available for free in March was released in 2008 to Xbox Live Arcade. Let's see here. Llama Attack is a twin-stick shooter. That's what they're called. Released in 2018. Gamers take control of mechs to wipe out a llama apocalypse with 4-player co-op. Finally, Port Royale 3 is a pirate simulator set in the 17th century Caribbean. Said relatively slow-paced and simulation-based approach might keep action gamers at arm's length, but we're impressed by how many different ways there are to leave your mark on Port Royale 3's many sandy shores. And since my girlfriend loves pirates all of a sudden because of Sea of Thieves, I'll probably have to download that for her and give it to her. I mean, not the game. You know what I'm talking about. Let's see here. Plant. This is an interesting. I don't know if I say interesting too much. I got to work on that. IGN article. Planned Toronto Esports Arena has 7,000 seats and looks wild. They're crazy. They're wild out there in Canada. If there's one thing, it's wild. This stadium looks like a woman's eye that's closed. That's what it looks like to me. If you go online and see it, you just Toronto Esports Arena and concept art. Inside looks basically like a theater. It's not an arena. I would say that's a theater. Yeah. I'd say that it looks like an opera theater instead of an arena. I wouldn't call it an arena. If that's how an arena is something, to me anyway, my definition of an arena is a bowl-shaped stadium where the action happens in the middle and it's surrounded on all sides by fans. This is a stage with 7,000 people on just half, it's not just on one side. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't think that's an arena. It looks badass. Looks kind of like an alien spaceship. An eye of an alien spaceship that just dropped down, just sits in the middle of the city. The world of Toronto's esports is getting a big makeover, a new $500 million entertainment venue, seating up to 7,000 fans. It's currently being planned for a 2025 opening. That's how much they care about the pandemic. Toronto is planning a video game arena. That's how much. Overactive media owners of the Overwatch League, Toronto's Defiant, and Call of Duty Leagues, Toronto's Ultra. It's just stupid. Make better names. Toronto Ultra. This is not Street Fighter Ultra or Turbo. Stop it. Announced plans for the new venue on Monday. The current unnamed venue, which will be, I'm sure whatever Chinese company will buy the rights to it will be up there, which will be located on a 4-acre plot north of Lakeshore Boulevard in Toronto's 192-acre Exhibition Place grounds. Will be the first sports or entertainment venue. Just call it sports entertainment. Why can't you just call it the first sports entertainment venue built in the city since the construction of the BMO field in 2007? Looks pretty cool. I'm not gonna hate on it. Looks good. I don't know why you'd want your stadium to look like an eyeball that's closed, and it looks like an eyeball that's closed, a female eyeball, because it looks like those stupid eyelash extensions that women have. Like we know that that's not how your eyeball looks. We know. Stop it. Your eyelash looks like it weighs 3 pounds, and it shouldn't. Is it heavy? You look sleepy is what it looks like. Maybe have subtle. So I'm going to just go out on a limb here and say women's makeup, it should be subtle. Just how any kind of surgery happens. It should be subtle. A facelift, subtle. Brow lift, subtle. Anything. And people are getting their eyelids done because they're droopy. Now, if your eyelids are drooping to where you can't see, then yeah, get them fixed. But it's okay to look old. Hey, everybody. It's okay to look old. You look like it looks good like you went through something. If you went through something, it's fine. Look a little weathered. It's okay. Oh, this is fun. This I thought was, it said photo of exhausted Domino's workers in San Antonio goes viral. This is by thetakeout.com. Now, if there's a kind of person that we need to, it looks like they ate all the food. That's what it looks like to me. It's a female worker. At least I assume she's female. She's smaller in stature. She has long hair. It's tied in a ponytail, brunette, wavy, nice hair. Kind of looks like my girlfriend's hair a little bit. She's knelt. She's kneeling over where they keep the ingredients. She has a hat on and a face mask, so I can't see anything, her face or anything like that. And she looks tired. She's like, oh God, what do I do? And then it looks like a male sitting down on the ground. He also has long hair. They can share hair care tips. Looks like his hair actually does look a little bit nicer than hers. I don't know if that makes me gay, but it could be. It's like, no, what makes you gay is when you suck. It's like, oh, hey, okay. So Domino's in San Antonio, working during the crisis, they had a weekend's worth of food and it was gone within 4 hours. Okay, so I got a question. So these people worked for 4 hours and they were exhausted? Huh? You did your job, you mean? Is that what you did? I don't understand. So imagine, now Domino's managers know that they can do a weekend's worth of business in 4 hours. They're like, let's bring them in. Let's get them going. This is what's possible. This team helped those who were in need that needed help. First of all, they weren't giving the food away for free, so calm down. People were buying it. These are the essential workers that need recognition. They were the only pizza place open. Every pizza place was closed, but Domino's stayed open to help those in need. No, they stayed open because they wanted to make money. If they were staying open to help people in need, they would give the food away for free and then have a tax write-off, which is not what it says happened in this article. Domino's was so brave and resilient. Guess what it did? It stayed open to make money. Oh, and did the employees that work there get paid too? Yes, they did. Oh, the sacrifice. Oh, the sacrifice. What are we, huh? Why are we, this doesn't make any sense. Did you sacrifice for any reason? No, you were slinging pizza slices out the door quicker than you did before. Because everyone was hungry. And I'm sure you got really good tips. So what? Yeah, yes. I mean, it's not like they wanted to close the Domino. Okay, this would be a case to praise the Domino workers. Okay, if the managers wanted to keep the doors closed and the food was going to go bad, like they already bought the food for the weekend, like, hey, we're going to close this down. We're afraid people are going to break in and steal all the food, so we're going to close it down. And then, like the higher up said that, and then say like a crazy rogue Domino manager talked to his employees and like, hey, look, there's going to be people hungry, starving. We think it's going to be better if we stay open and help these people. You know, and they're without power, they're without water. Let's give them some food so they can survive maybe the weekend or a week, something off, have a slice a day and be all right. And then against, the orders of the higher ups, they went in and started dishing out pizza slices for no regard for their personal safety. That would make sense. But that's not what happened. The higher ups were like, hey, all the other pizza businesses are closed. We're gonna make a killing. Open it up. And they only showed 2 employees there. Oh, they were so tight. Get extra employees. Hey, you want time and a half? Come on in. You want double pay? Let's go, because we're the only place in town right now. And once they're out of food, what are they going to do? They're like, we're going to close. So everyone at that place got the next day off. Every place was closed. They couldn't get trucks in for the more pizza ingredients. So, we need to stop praising these people who are getting paid well, or getting paid to do their job just a little bit quicker. Are their lives on the line, or did they do their did they do their job while being attacked? And like soldiers, police officers, firefighters. Let's praise these people consistently. Let's give them. I've yet to meet an arrogant firefighter or soldier or police officer that just stands out there and says, "I want all of the. Look at me, give me all of the attention. Look how tired I am." No, they do their job and they go back to their families. Ugh. And I know my brother. My brother's a firefighter. He's an asshole, but he is never he has never once like, hey, guess what? The cool thing I did today. They don't want the attention. They want to do their jobs, get out of the spotlight. Now I'm sure there are exceptions to the rule, but that's not the majority of it. Just like with anything, you have thinking my brother. The type of person he is, I thought he would be bragging up and down about all of his accomplishments as a firefighter. But you get out there and realize how shitty they're like, I don't even want to, when I'm not there at work, I don't even want to think about it. If I was a firefighter, I think, or a police officer, I would definitely start a drinking habit. It's like, yeah, I inherited this from I blame it on my ancestor. Yeah, my dad used to drink a lot. His dad before him. My mom's side's Serbian. They're all drinkers. And just blame it on that instead of the job that I'm currently doing. Hypothetical job. Oh, and hypothetical. I've discovered that my girlfriend, because we were talking about hypothetical children, how we would raise them hypothetically, and I'm more of a strict rules kind of person. You don't give a kid praise unless they do something that's actually impressive. Otherwise, they're going to grow up thinking everything they do is great. And in my head, that's what's wrong with a good proportion of our society. The whole participation trophy joke or saying has been played out millions of times. But unless you do something that is impressive, you don't get the I'm impressed reaction. You don't get it. And she the way she treats her cats and how they don't get punished, but they only get punished or talked to if they're annoying her when she's already annoyed by something else. So if something's stressing her out, like work or family, something along those lines, then the cats act how the cats normally act. Then she gets real short. Like, get out, I fed you, I gave you cuddles or pets, get out of here. And she'll be real, short with them. And I'm like, oh, is that how you're going to treat the kids? Oh, well, then I can't seriously think about it if that's how you're going to treat your cats. It's only going to get worse for kids. I was like, you treat the cats, no, you treat the cats just like you treat the kids, just normal. You don't take your day out on the kids. Granted, in our situation, I'd be the stay-at-home parent, which was fine. And thinking about that, taking care of a kid, sounds awesome. You stay at home. I'm paid to be a babysitter. My girl pay all the bills. I don't want to go out there and work. You have a higher education. You can do technically less work for way more money than I could. Go make the money. You want? I'll knock you up a few times, have some kids, and then once you keep moving up and making a whole bunch of money, and then we statistically get a divorce because that's how most marriages end. I get half your shit. That sounds like a great deal. I don't know what women are complaining about. All the smart women you don't hear from. All the women who usually dated bums, and those are the ones you hear about the most. Unbelievable. Doesn't make any sense to me. There's I love how when a rare duck is by livescience.com. A rare yellow penguin on South George's Island. That's good. Nate Bargatze's podcast, Nate Land. I can't remember his name. He has two co-hosts, and one of them pronounces penguin. I probably laughed for 2-3 minutes straight hearing that guy say that mispronounced penguin. um, Black and white tuxedos. This is so rare yellow penguin in South Georgia's island, and biologists can't quite explain it. It's like biologists don't know everything. Black and white tuxedos may be the conventional dress code in the penguin world, but one dashing individual is breaking the status quo with an a la mode yellow coat. A wildlife photographer captured images of the rare penguin on a remote island in South Georgia in December 2019, and only recently released the photos. What a tease. King penguin walked straight up in our direction in the middle of the chaos full of sea elephants and Arctic seals. I thought it said sea. Never mind. Arctic fur seals and thousands of other king penguins. It's a king penguin. The photographer from Belgium, YVES, Yevis Adams. I like how his first name is Yevis and then his Adams is his last name. Wrote on Instagram, "How lucky could I be?" At the time, Adams was leading a 2-month photography expedition through the South Atlantic and had stopped on the South Georgia beach. While unpacking safety equipment, he saw the fluttering of penguins swimming toward the shore. One individual immediately caught his eye. I'd never seen or heard of a yellow penguin before. There were 120,000 birds on that beach. First of all, what? How do you know that? By the density and the sheer acreage covered, statistically, talking out your ass, 120,000 birds. Do you have a camera that counts all individual birds and it has some AI running in the background that counts all of them? I don't think so. Which is a number that's impressive. Probably like 80,000. 50 next. This was this is the kind of guy that says, he has a 9-inch dick when it's really 5 or 6 inches. It's like, what? Calm down. Okay, stop using Instagram filters to make it look larger. We all went crazy when we realized we dropped all the safety equipment and grabbed our cameras. So you saw a yellow penguin. It's like, holy crap. But it's not that big. Like, the penguins have the yellow fur like on the back of the head. They show a picture here. There's one normal-looking penguin. And did you just call the black and white penguin normal? And then, yeah, average. There's an average penguin. He's got black feet. He's got the white chest. And then towards his neck, the middle of his neck, there's a little bit yellow. So the penguin already has yellow on it. It just looks like the black part didn't come in. So this thing is white and yellow and a pinkish, like a flesh pinkish color. So it's not that crazy to think that the color would be. It's just some kind of genetic color differential. I don't know. It's not that crazy. The yellow part, yeah, it just looks like someone ripped the black off of him. Some white racist penguin is like, this is enough. You know what this looks like? There's nothing wrong with having black fins. Start crying. It's a pretty badass looking penguin though. It looks pretty cool. But I wonder if all the other penguins are going to be racist towards him. Be like, you're going to hang out with the yellow, the white and yellow one over there? Are you sure? I don't know. Hey, there goes the beach. That's what I'll do. So let's see. There was another article I wanted to see. I listen to Cornel West. Sometimes he's an interesting communist, domestic socialist kind of. He calls people comrades. But he comes from at least he says he comes from a very uplifting human angle. And I like when he speaks like that. So I like listening to him. He goes against what I naturally believe. But it's interesting to hear his perspective because he's not disrespectful. He's not saying anyone's terrible or usually anything like that. He does make outlandish, white supremacist allegations of people, and I'm like, no, that's not what it. That's completely inaccurate. But he has good points. But he this is a Harvard. He said Harvard denies Cornel West tenure. Prominent philosopher and academic threatening to leave university. So he threatened to leave the university unless he got tenured, which picked up the news cycle. According to this, the Bay State banner. He was uh, Cornel West, who's 67 years old, who left his tenured university chair post in 2002 following a public clash with former Harvard president Lawrence H. Summers. Returned in 2017, but he doesn't have. So you left. You were tenured. You had an issue with the president and you left, right? Were you forced out and then you said you left back then for some weird reason? So you had your job, you left, you came back and you want your old position back? Well, I don't know what it takes to be a tenured professor, but is someone holding you back from being a tenured professor? Then call them out and say, hey, this person's mistreating me. Say that. It doesn't make any sense. So you had the job, you left willingly because you had a disagreement or an issue with somebody, and now you're back assuming that guy's not there anymore. A public clash with former, so he's not there anymore. So the main reason that you left isn't there. Now you want your old position back? It's like, well, earn it. Don't complain to the news, and then you're black, so you're going to make it there's a whole bunch of racial inclinations. I'm like, no, you were black and you had tenure before, so it's not because you're black. it's not like you're the first one ever in Harvard University to, a black person to have tenure there. But he's using that to get this really cushy tenured position, and good for him, dude. If you're working the system, good for him. But don't pretend like you're doing it as some high philosophical. I don't even know the right terminology. That's how dumb I am. But don't pretend you're doing. Oh well, this is disrespectful, racist. I can't get my no. You had your tenure. You left because you had some dispute. Now you're back. You have to go through you have to start at the bottom again and then go back up. You don't get credit for time already served there, Mr. West. It's like, come on now. Be honest with yourself. Come on. You just want it. And that's fine. It's okay to want it. I would love to be a tenured professor at Harvard too. Okay? But just like you, I didn't put the time in. Let's see here. Blah, 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 blah. The Microsoft Xbox has a new frames per second boost that doesn't require any help from the actual developers. They can just do it on the system end, which is interesting. So you can have a old game which runs at 30 frames a second, run at 60 or greater. That's huge for video game development. You can have a game run at 60 frames, but that's not 60 frames a second. And the developers don't need to do shit. It's unbelievable. There's these real-looking Epic, the video game developer, and also Store. They're the ones that created Gears of War. But I think now they do. They do Fortnite. I'm not a big Fortnite fan, but I'm pretty sure they own Fortnite. They have a tool. It's called Metahuman, where you make your own realistic-looking people. It looks really good. So if you want to go ahead and have some fun online looking at these YouTube videos of these people swapping in and out, you can de-age people, add length, add their hair, highlights, and and these people can talk, and it looks really impressive. And if that's in-game stuff, that's going to be crazy. But it always, the bar gets put way too high on these things, and then you see them in real life, and you're like, oh, that's not exactly what it was. Oh, and to close the podcast, our president used the N-word on live television, and it's totally not a thing. It's not in the news. Go on YouTube. You can just type in Joe Biden N-word, and it says Biden's speech at the Munich Security Conference. And fast forward to about 15:27, and I'm going to play the audio for you right now. This is hilarious. Why can't white people not say this word? I don't understand. I don't get how you accidentally say it. I don't. I stay away from every word that ends with GGER. stay away from. I don't say like I don't even like saying the word jiggle. What was that? Oh, I can't remember the one word. Haggle. No, there was one word that sounds similar. When you, I don't know. I can't say it. No, not that I can't say. I can't remember it. Crap. I had it in my head before. But anyways, let's go to this president. This is our president speaking.
It's broad and complex. I'm eager to hear next from my good friends.
There it was.
It's broad and complex. I'm eager to hear next from my good friends.
So he messed up the word eager and next. He's like, I'm eager to hear next. And then he's like, eager to hear, goo. And I would like every person who voted Democrat, who voted left, what would you say if Trump messed up and actually accidentally said the N-word? What would you say? There'd be an investigation. See, we told you he was a racist. This happened 3 or 4 days ago, and I just heard about it now. The president of the United States accidentally, it's not like he called anybody. But what? That would be front page news. It would be on the New York Times. It would be Trump with like a mean face, like he was talking about China and how, we're going to get those guys, we're going to lay fire and brimstone, hellfire, a real aggressive face. He's like, uses the N-word. It's like, and then he'd be impeached for the 3rd time. Oh, I can't wait as a pro wrestling fan who loves bad guys, and I can't wait if he actually comes back in 2024. It's gonna be the best. His music, I said it before, AC/DC, Back in Black. It'll be the all-time greatest thing in the world. And him and Vince McMahon could walk down the aisle together. Him, Linda McMahon, Trump, all 3 of them. It'd be so funny. I hope he doesn't get back in, because I hope people get tired of Joe Biden, and then whoever the next representatives are hopefully better. I like Tulsi Gabbard. She's that's my if she were to run, she'd get my vote. As of right now, I don't know who else would be in it, of course. But if The Rock runs, The Rock, of course. We're hoping that cool celebrity. This country has gotten so, people are tired of this country that live here. They're so desperate that they would hire just their favorite celebrity that they think is cool. Like, yeah, hey man, look, he'd get a lot of stuff done. You see, he works out and shoots he's shooting 5 movies at once, and he's, working out, getting huge steroids. But, all of the things that he does, that's who I want for president. The guy that's at the gym, that travels with a gigantic gym. It's like, hey, Rock, get a Bowflex. Okay, kid, get a Bowflex, go to the local gym. I got to get the Iron Paradise. He has a whole team that carries around his weights, his full set of weights. Now, if it was the gym for the whole crew, that's cool. But it looks like it's only him using it. It'd be funny. He brings the weight. It's all weights only he could lift. His normal celebrity Hollywood actors and actresses can be like, well, where are the 20s? Where are the 20s? Where's the 10s to the 40s? That's the world I'm. No, we got 90s and above here in Iron Paradise, brother. But yeah, so that'll be the podcast. I appreciate anyone who listens. It's February 25th, 2021. And I'll see, and you'll hear from me next week. All right, take it easy. Easy on you.
You got this shit knocking low.